There was a version of you that used to disappear into things. Hours would pass while you built something, wrote something, worked on something, and you wouldn't even notice the light change in the room. Try that today. 10 minutes in, you're checking your phone. 15 minutes in, you're already thinking about something else. And somewhere along the way, you quietly decided that person, the one who used to vanish into work for hours, is just gone. That he only existed because you were younger, had less going on, hadn't been worn down yet. That's the lie, and believing it is the only reason you haven't gotten him back. Flow was never a personality trait. It's not something certain people have and others don't. It's a state your brain enters automatically the moment specific conditions line up, and exits automatically the second those conditions break. You didn't lose your ability to focus. You lost the conditions that used to be in place without you noticing. Single tasking, real feedback, a level of challenge that actually stretched you. Nobody took those away from you on purpose. Modern work and modern phones just made them almost impossible to protect. Here's the actual mechanism. Flow only exists inside a channel. Think of a river. Give a river no banks, and it spreads into a swamp. Shallow, slow, going nowhere. That's boredom. A task too easy, spread too thin. Build the banks too tight, and that same water turns into a flood. Violent, overflowing, wrecking everything around it. That's anxiety. A task too hard, too much pressure at once. But get the banks right, narrow enough to create pressure, wide enough not to break, and that same water becomes a current with real force behind it. That's flow. It was never about more effort. It's about the right constraint. The psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi spent decades studying this exact state, and his research is specific. Flow reliably shows up when the challenge in front of you sits just above your current skill. Not comfortable, not overwhelming, just past the edge of what you can already do. Most people don't lose flow because they got worse at their craft. They lose it because their days stopped being calibrated to stretch them at all. Here's where people sabotage it the moment they get it back. Flow starts working, and the instinct is to chase more of it. Longer sessions, fewer breaks, push through the tired feeling because it finally feels good to be productive again. That instinct feels earned. It destroys the whole thing. Arianna Huffington ran her company for years on exactly that instinct. More hours, less sleep, wearing exhaustion like proof of commitment, until she collapsed from sheer fatigue on her office floor. She rebuilt her entire approach to work around the opposite belief. Recovery isn't the interruption to peak performance. It's the requirement for it. Flow runs on the same neurochemicals that need time to reset. Push without recovery, and you don't get more flow. You burn out the capacity for it. That person who used to disappear into hours of work without noticing. He's not gone, and he's not younger, and he didn't have some advantage you no longer have. He was just operating inside conditions you've stopped protecting. A real constraint, a real stretch, and enough rest between sessions to keep showing up. Rebuild the banks, and the current comes back on its own. Not because you found willpower you didn't have before, because you finally stopped flooding it or draining it dry.